The colonial era in the banking system of India during the period of British rule, merchant established in the Union Bank of the Calcutta in 1829, first as a private joint stock association, then partnership. Its proprietor were the owner of the earlier commercial bank and the Calcutta Bank, who, by the mutual consent, created Union Bank to replace these two banks. In 1840, it established an agency at Singapore and closed the one at Muzaffarpur and Mirzapur that it had opened in the previous year. Also in the 1840, the bank revealed that it had been the subject of the fraud by the bank's accountant. A Union Bank was incorporated in 1845 but failed in 1848, having been insolvent for some time and having used new money from the depositor to pay its dividend. The Allahabad Bank, established in the 1865 and still functioning today, is the oldest joint stock bank in India. It was not the first, though that honor belongs to the Bank of Upper India, and which was established in 1863 and survived until 1913, when it failed, with some of its assets and liabilities being transferred to the Alliance Bank of Shimla. Foreign banks too started to appear, particularly in Kolkata in 1860. Grindla's Bank opened its first branch in the Kolkata in 1864. The Coptier Economy de Paris opened a branch in the Kolkata in 1860 and another in Bombay in the 1862. Branches followed in the Madras and Pondicherry. Then in France position, HSBC established itself in the Bengal in 1869. Kolkata was the most active trading port in India, mainly due to the trade of the British Empire, and so became the banking center. The first entry entirely Indian joint stock bank was the Oud Commercial Bank, established in the 1881 in Faizabad. It failed in 1958. The next was Punjab National Bank, established in Lahore in 1894, which has survived to the present and is now one of the largest bank in India. Around the turn of the 20th century, the Indian economy was passing through a relative period of stability. Around 5 decades had elapsed since the Indian Rebellion, and the social, industrial, and other infrastructure had improved. Indian had established small banks, most of which served particularly ethnic and religious communities. The presidency banks dominated banking in India, but there were also some exchange banks and a member of the Indian joint stock banks. All these banks operated in different segments of the economy. The exchange banks, mostly owned by the Europeans, concentrated on financing foreign trade. Indian joint stock banks were generally under the capitalized and lacked the experience and the maturity to compete with the presidency and exchange banks. This segmentation led Lord caused to this observer in respect of the banking. It seems we were behind the times. We are like some old-fashioned sailing ship divided by this soiled wooden bulkhead into the separate and cumbersome compartments. The period between the 1906 and 1911 saw the establishment of the banks inspired by the Swadeshi Bank and Swadeshi movement inspired local businessmen and political figures to fund banks of and for the Indian community. A number of the banks established then have survived to the present, such as the Catholic Syrian Bank, the South Indian Banks, Bank of India, Corporation Bank, Indian Bank, Bank of Baroda, Canara Bank, and Central Bank of India. The favor of the Swadeshi movement led to the establishment of the many private banks in Dakshina and Kannada and Udupi district, which were unified earlier and known by the name South Canara and district. For nationalized banks started in this district and also a leading private sector bank. Hence the undivided Dakshina Kannada district is all known as the cradle of the Indian banking. The inaugural office holder was the British Sir Osborne Smith, while C.D. Deshmukh was the first Indian governor. On December 12, 2018, Shakti Kanta Das, who was the finance secretary with the government of the India, began his journey as the new RBI governor, taking charge from the Urjit R. Patel during the First World War through the end of the Second World War and 2 years thereafter until the independence of India were challenging for Indian banking. The years of the First World War were turbulent and until the independence of India, challenging the Indian banking. The years of the First World War were turbulent and it took its toll, and with banking simply collapsing despite the Indian economy gaining the indirect boost due to the war-related economic activities. At least 94 banks in India failed between 1913 to 1918 as indicated in the following tables.